Signs of a long-lasting strike. Worries continue to grow as the UAW strike against General Motors is in its fifth week.
Analysts say the state of Michigan will lose more than $4 million in withholding taxes per week if the strike continues.
Many are now questioning what could happen if both parties can't come to an agreement and if the state or federal government could step in.
TV5's Rachel McQuarrie has a look at some of those possibilities.
When it comes to the UAW strike against General Motors,
there's not much the state could do. I mean, ultimately an agreement has to be reached between the two parties.
Associate Professor of Economics at U of M Flint, Chris Douglas, filling us in on what can and can't be done to aid in a resolution. As the strike expands into its fifth week, he says there's not much the government can do to help at the federal or state level.
Perhaps the state could offer to mediate, but I don't think that would be that beneficial. So when you're talking about negotiations between two parties that are both private parties, there's really nothing the state can do.
We did catch up with Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, who says while Michigan's government is not intervening, the UAW strikers have the state's full support.
We certainly are supporting the workers here who are stepping up and want to be respected and protected at work. We think that's an important value. And you know, there's been a lot of help given to the industry. And this industry is important. We need that help for the state of Michigan. It's a backbone of our economy. And so we just want to make sure everyone now comes together.
Douglas says while both sides are taking a financial hit because of lost wages and lack of production, he doesn't think GM will buckle quite yet in favor of the union employees because he says they have a lot of cars to sell.
And that they probably had 90 to 100 days worth of inventory so they could still sell cars even if production stops. So I don't think the company starts to feel the real hit until they just run out of cars to sell.
And Douglas believes it could be another 3 months before there's a resolution. In Genesee County, Rachel McQuarrie, WNEM TV5.
Thank you, Rachel. And workers on strike are getting a little more support from the union. Over the weekend, the UAW voted to increase strike pay from $250 to $275 per week. The union also lifted the cap on how much a member could earn doing part-time work somewhere else, as long as they continue to perform their strike duties. At least one local chapter president told us he knows a few of his members are looking at getting a part-time job to support their family as the strike continues.
It's time for them to start spreading that wealth that they got because they're doing great right now, but they got to help us because we took a lot of concessions.
Contract talks continued over the weekend after the union made a counterproposal to GM.